Not all coins are what they seem. Some were spent without a second thought. Yet they're worth thousands, even millions today, hidden in drawers, jars, and pockets. Are pieces of history waiting to be discovered. At Rare Coins, we uncover the real value, the truth behind the hype, and the coins collectors would do anything to own. Welcome to Rare Coins. You've probably seen the headlines. This 1972 penny sold for thousands. And yes, they're talking about a coin you could have pulled from pocket change. If you had a sharp eye and a little luck. But here's the truth, not all. 1972 pennies are created equal. In fact, out of them more than 5.5 billion. Lincoln cents minted that year in Philadelphia. Only a tiny fraction carry one of the most famous and visible double die errors in U.S. coin history. And it's one you can spot with the naked eye. Back in 1972, the U.S. Mint was still using the older multiple hubbing process to create working dies. That meant the master hub had to press into the die more than once. And if those impressions weren't perfectly aligned, the result was a doubled image that would be struck onto every coin made from that die. The result? The 1972 double die obverse, or DDO, now legendary among collectors. This isn't one of those subtle varieties you need a microscope to see. On the strongest variety, known as DDO001, the doubling leaps out at you. Look at the date. Each number, especially the 2, has a fully separated twin. Then check Liberty and the motto, "In God We Trust." Every letter looks doubled, like the coin is wearing a shadow of itself. And this is rounded, well-separated doubling, the real deal. Machine doubling, which is flat and shelf-like, doesn't even come close to this dramatic effect. There are actually several different doubled D varieties for 1972. Experts list up to 10, but DDO001 is by far the most dramatic and valuable. And here's where it gets interesting. This error was made at the Philadelphia Mint, which struck no mint mark on cents at the time. That means if you see a 1972 D with doubling, it's almost certainly mechanical doubling, the true big money. Error is only on 1972 no mint mark cents. So what's the payoff if you find one? In circulated grades, you can still get $100 to $300 if the doubling is clear. In mint state, things get serious. MS65 red examples have crossed $1,500 at auction, and MS66 red coins have broken the $3,000 mark at heritage auctions. And here's the wild one, a superb gem MS67, red sold for over $14,000. That's a sun 400,000% return on face value. Not bad for a penny. Now picture this. You're sifting through an old coffee can of coins your grandfather left behind. In between some wheat cents and a few 1980s memorials, you spot a bright 1972. You turn it under the light, and the date almost jumps at you. That's the exact moment collectors live for. If you want to hunt one down, the best places are old change jars, bank rolls of pennies, yes, they're still out there, coin dealer junk bins, garage sales where people dump old coins in a box, estate sales, especially where the owners were alive in the early 70s. If you think you found one, stop everything. Do not clean it. Not with soap, not with water, not with a cloth. Cleaning leaves hairline scratches that instantly cut the value in half or worse. Instead, put it in a safe 2x2 flip or an airtight holder. Then get it authenticated and graded by PCGS or NGC, a high-grade example with blazing. Original red surfaces could be life-changing money. When it comes to selling, you have choices. For top-dollar coins, go to a major auction like heritage auctions or great collections, where serious bidders drive the price up. eBay works too, especially if you have strong photos and a grading certificate. Local coin shows can be quicker cash, but dealers will offer less because they need room to profit. Here's the bottom line. The 1972 DDO is one of the most dramatic, visible doubled dies ever put into circulation. It's a coin that rewards knowledge, patience, and a careful eye. Out of billions of pennies, only a fraction have this magic, but that fraction has turned ordinary people into auction, winners and collectors into legends. At Rare Coins, we're here to bring you the truth behind coins that matter. No hype, no clickbait, just the real stories that make numismatics addictive. If you're a serious collector, investor, seller, or buyer, subscribe now. We're just getting started, And the next coin we cover could be worth more than you think. They say a penny isn't worth bending over to pick up. But in 1972, the Philadelphia Mint accidentally struck a penny that's made more than one. Lucky collector drop everything, scramble to the floor and grin all the way to the bank. Imagine this. A coin you've seen 1,000 times before, suddenly worth over $10,000 in pristine condition. Could one be hiding in your change jar right now? Let's start with the claim. This penny could make you rich overnight. Sounds like hype, right? And yes, most 1972 pennies are worth a single cent. But there's a twist, a real, documented collector-proven twist. The 1972 doubled die obverse variety, A1, has some of the most dramatic doubling in U.S. coinage history. And unlike minor errors, this one practically shouts at you when you see it. Picture this. The word Liberty looks like it's been printed twice, slightly offset. The date 1972 has a clear doubled outline, and the phrase "In God We Trust" looks like it's echoing across the coin. This isn't your average die wear. This is a true doubled die, caused when the working die was hubbed, more than once but not perfectly aligned each time. Every coin struck from that faulty die carried this built-in doubling. How rare is it? The Philadelphia Mint produced over 2.9 billion Lincoln cents in 1972. Only a small fraction came from the doubled dies. Experts estimate that fewer than 20 those exist today in all grades. And in mint state red, far fewer. That's why collectors chase them so hard. Now let's talk real money. In circulated condition, even a lightly worn example can fetch $300 in uncirculated grades. The price climbs fast. MS63 red examples regularly sell for $500, $800. MS65 red, you're looking at $2,500, $3,000. In 2021, a blazing MS67 red sold at heritage auctions for over $14,000. That's 1 penny, 1 cent, turned into 5 figures. The story behind this error is tied to the minting technology of the time. In the early 70s, working dies were created by pressing the master hub into the blank die multiple times. If the hub shifted even slightly between impressions, the result was double design elements. Today's single squeeze method has largely eliminated this kind of dramatic doubling, which is why older doubled dies are so coveted. If you want to hunt for one, here's what to do. Search every 1972 Philadelphia penny you find, no D, mint mark under the date. Look under strong direct light. Tilt the coin slightly to catch the doubling on Liberty, the date, and the motto. A 10x jeweler's loop or coin microscope will help confirm it's rounded. Well-defined doubling, not the flat, shelf-like look of machine doubling. Where to search? Old coffee cans or jars in your grandparents' home. Estate sales, yard sales, and flea markets. Coin roll hunting. Buy $25 boxes of pennies from the bank and check each one. Coin shows. Some dealers overlook raw examples in bargain bins. And here's your golden rule. Never clean it. A cleaned 1972 DDO loses its natural luster, which grading companies see as damage, cutting value drastically. Instead, hold the coin by its edges, store it in a 2x2 holder or airtight capsule, and send it to a top-tier grader like PCGS or NGC. When it's time to sell, match the selling venue to the coin's value. High-grade coins list in major auctions like Heritage or Stack's Bowers. Mid-grade examples sell on eBay with sharp photos of the doubling. Lower-grade coin shops or collector forums for quick sales. The 1972 doubled die obverse isn't just another error coin, it's one of the boldest, most visible mint varieties in circulation today. And that means it's still out there, waiting for someone with a keen eye and a bit of patience to find it. Out of nearly 3 billion coins, yours could be the one that turns an ordinary day into an unforgettable story. At Rare Coins, we're here to bring you the truth about the coins that matter. No hype, no clickbait. If you're a serious collector, investor, or just someone who loves the thrill of the hunt, subscribe now, because the next coin we feature could be in your pocket right now. Most people look at a penny and see 1 cent, but sometimes if you slow down and look closer, you'll see something unusual hiding in plain sight. And it could be worth way more than a penny. The 1980 D Lincoln cent with a repunched mint mark is one of those hidden treasures. And here's the kicker, you might have one right now, sitting in your change jar without even realizing it. We've all seen the D under the date on coins from the Denver Mint. Normally, it's a crisp single letter. But on certain 1980 cents, that D looks different. Maybe there's a faint shadow beneath it. Maybe there's a doubled edge. And that's not your imagination. It's the sign of an RPM, a repunched mint mark. Back in 1980, mint marks were still punched into the working dies by hand. This meant human error could, and sometimes did, creep in. If the engraver didn't align the punch perfectly on the first strike, they had to punch it again. If the second punch didn't land in exactly the same place, the result was a little doubled or offset D. That tiny mistake? It's what turns an ordinary coin into a collectible variety. There are several recognized 1980 D RPM varieties, some more dramatic than others. On the strongest ones, you can clearly see an extra D peeking out to the side, above or below the main mint mark. It's like a ghost image frozen in copper. Even minor shifts, though, still catch the eyes of variety hunters. So how much are we talking about? In circulated condition, these coins might fetch $3 to $10 from a collector who needs that exact variety. In higher grades, especially with strong visible doubling, prices jump. MS63 red examples might bring $15-25. MS65 red coins can command $40-60. And for the boldest RPMs in MS66 red, you could be looking at over $100, especially if it's slabbed and attributed by PCGS or NGC. Not exactly lottery money, but remember, you could find this in your pocket change for face value. That's like buying a lottery ticket for a cent and winning. The trick is knowing what to look for. You'll need a good 10x loop or coin microscope. Focus on the D mint mark under the date. You're looking for a clear outline of another D, not machine doubling, which looks flat and shelf-like. A true RPM will have rounded edges and depth because it's part of the die itself. Where to find them? Coin roll hunting. Pick up boxes of pennies from the bank and check each one. Old coin jars or desk drawers, estate sales and flea markets. Dealer bargain bins, sometimes overlooked by sellers focused only on older key dates. If you think you've found one, don't clean it. Even a minor RPM loses collector value if it's been cleaned. Handle by the edges, store in a 2-2 holder, and if it's a high-grade example, consider sending it to a grading service that will also attribute the RPM variety. When it comes time to sell, choose your audience. RPM specialists hang out on coin forums and in Facebook groups, and they'll pay more for a clean, well-attributed example. Auction sites like eBay are also a good outlet, especially if your listing includes clear, magnified photos of the mint mark. The 1980 D RPM isn't flashy like a big double die, and it probably won't make headlines. But it's exactly the kind of coin that keeps collectors coming back. A tiny, handmade imperfection that survived the minting process, slipped into circulation and now hides in plain sight. And for the dedicated hunter, spotting one is like catching a whisper from the past. At Rare Coins, we're here to bring you the truth behind the coins that matter. No hype, no clickbait. If you're serious about collecting, investing, or just love the thrill of the hunt, hit that subscribe button. The next coin we feature could be one you've already touched today.